My name's Robin, and I'm a volunteer and guide at the Foundling Museum, and I've been there for about 8 years now. My chosen objects are the portrait of Thomas Coram by William Hogarth and the portrait of the sixth Duchess of Somerset. I was introduced to the Foundling Museum probably about 9 years ago by a friend of mine who'd been a social worker, knew all about the Foundling Museum and the Foundling Hospital. And because my background was in nursing, mental health nursing, general nursing and midwifery, he thought it'd be a very interesting place to go to. And indeed it was. And the man behind the project to establish the Foundling Hospital, Thomas Coram. And I just fell in love with the portrait and the man behind the portrait. I just thought it was an affectionate portrait, nothing like a lot of the other portraits of that period where people had their wigs on and looking very, very staid and unfriendly. I actually think this is a very welcoming, a very open portrait of Thomas Coram. When you consider what's behind this portrait, the fact that he strived for 17 years to actually establish the Foundling Hospital. And it wasn't until he made contact with the sixth Duchess of Somerset that it started raising the profile a little bit. She, along with 20 of her aristocratic lady friends, signed a petition to present to King George II in order to get a royal charter to establish the charity. That didn't work. But I think it started raising the profile. And in fact, at the end of it, her husband actually became one of the governors. Going back to my professional career, when I was a midwife, of course, it really, really struck a chord with me, actually visiting the Foundling Museum and seeing these two wonderful people. Well, I'd left school, went into the RAF, and then I decided I'd like to be a nurse. So I came out of the RAF, did my general training, then went on to do my mental health training. And then, being one of 6 children, I was very, very excited when a new course was available. First course in the country to train men as midwives. And lo and behold, I was accepted and I loved it. Being at the birth is, again, very emotional because the woman and her partner, or whoever's there as the birth partner, totally reliant on you as the midwife. And to think of the pain of labour, no mother ever forgets giving birth. There's no way the mother could ever forget that. And so these mothers who handed over their babies to the care of the Foundling Hospital, they would never ever forget having given birth to that baby, and they would think about the baby as the years went past on the birthdays and at special celebrations. Whether you're an aristocrat or whether you're a really, really poor person, that doesn't change. That emotion is always there. I think the Foundling Hospital was an amazing project. When you consider, I think about 25,000 babies went through the doors of the Foundling Hospital. That's a lot of babies. Obviously, in the early years, a lot would have died, but then more would have died outside the hospital on the streets. I think more people should know about it. It's part of our history. And I just think it's very, very interesting how these two people from two different worlds came together and played a very, very important part in establishing the Foundling Hospital.